Good evening and welcome to the May 8th, 2025 meeting of the Abington Township Board of Commissioners. May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioners Brodsky, Rothman,
Here.
Nicolacito,
Here.
Lady Martin,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Weingrab,
Here.
Henry,
Here.
DePone, Young Gertz,
Here.
Spiegelman,
Here.
Ball, Schreiber,
Here.
Bowman,
Here.
Vice President Vahey,
Here.
President Hecker.
Here. Thank you. Please note that Commissioner Bowl is excused this evening, and may we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I have one announcement this evening, but I'm going to turn to Manager Crispin for some assistance. It says Human Relations Commission Annual Report.
Yes, so that is one announcement. So periodically, all of our authorities, boards, and commissions come in to present to the board a summary of their findings for the past year.
Okay, sounds good. Welcome. For those from the Human Relations Commission, please come forward.
We have about 5 minutes. So I wrote everything down, so it's going to be 5 minutes.
That's
So
okay.
good
Take your
evening,
time.
everyone. Thank you, Township Manager Chris Chrisman and the Board of Commissioners for inviting us to be with you tonight. I'm Michelle Cooper, Chair of the Abington Township Human Relations Commission. It's my honor to share the work we've done over the past year to advance equity, inclusion, and mutual respect in our community. Tonight's video, created by our fellow commission member, Kristen Chapin, who's with us here today, gives a glimpse into the events and initiatives we've led, from responding to acts of hate to building spaces for connection and learning. We continued to take a stand against bias, like in May, when anti-Semitic flyers were left at residents' homes. We issued a public statement that was featured in Glenside Local, making it clear that hate has no home in Abington. In November, we also distributed a flyer reminding residents of their rights and protections against voter intimidation, ensuring everyone could access the ballot box without fear. So now let's take a look at a few of the moments that defined our year.
Sounds good.
Oh, no. Eating into
You
my
got
5 minutes.
There you go. Very good.
On behalf of the Abington Township Human Relations Commission, I'm happy to share highlights from the calendar year 2024. In order to protect the rights of all community members, the Abington Township Human Relations Commission promotes the provisions of Abington Ordinance 2029, which prohibits discrimination in housing, employment, and public accommodation. We recognize the inherent dignity and worth of all people and strive to ensure through education, mediation, and community outreach that all members of the community enjoy equality and equal protection under the law. In calendar year 2024, members included Michelle Cooper, Chair, Kristen Chapin, Rosemary Jenkins, Joanne Kleiner, Shelley Rosenberg, Cheryl Rustin, and Justin Williams. The HRC had a change in leadership in 2024. Michelle Cooper was elected as the new chair of the Abington Town Relations Commission in February. We thank Michelle for her leadership, as well as thank Joanne Kleiner, who served as our leader for the last 12 years. In June, the Abington Human Relations Commission partnered with the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission to host PHRC on the Road, Building Pennsylvania's Beloved Community. Members of the community, along with members of the HRC, gathered to hear Chad Lassiter, Executive Director of the PHRC, speak about peace, unity, and building a beloved community here in Abington. In June, the HRC joined Abington Township Commissioners and other community members in raising the progressive pride flag at the Township Building in honor of Pride Month, as well as attended the Abington Library's Pride Fest event. Members of the HRC also participated in Abington Township Police Department's pre-night out block party on August 5th to share resources with the community. Also in October, the HRC participated in the LGBTQIA+ Resource Fair to share information on the services available through the Human Relations Commission. In October, the HRC hosted a workshop to build skills on how to disagree better, facilitated by Braver Angels. Participants learned how to engage in political discussions without demonizing others, intervening constructively when conversations became heated, and to reduce polarization in everyday interactions. We welcome you to reach out to the Human Relations Commission by email. Information about the Human Relations Commission can also be found on our website, our Facebook, and our Instagram. Please reach out. We want to stay connected. Thank you.
So as you can see, it's been a meaningful year of action and outreach. And in January, in partnership with the Abington Free Library, we hosted the Human Library, a powerful event encouraging people to read one another's lived experiences. It was covered by WHYY and helped foster empathy and conversation across differences. We continued this momentum with issuing statements of concern following the recent executive orders that dismantled DEI initiatives in public agencies and education, an alarming trend that demands vigilance and advocacy. In March, we hosted Who Pays the Price, a panel discussion exploring the human cost of Medicaid cuts. We were honored to welcome Senator Art Haywood and Chad Laster, Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission, as panelists. And in the wake of a racist incident caught on video in a local store, we joined with you, Township Board of Commissioners, the Abington Police Department, and the Willow Grove NAACP to release a unified statement condemning hate in all forms. We're proud of the work we've done, but we know there's more ahead. If you'd like to learn more or get involved, please don't hesitate to connect with us. We are always eager to partner with others who care about building a stronger, more inclusive Abington. Thank you for your time and for standing with us in this work.
Thank you for coming out tonight, and thank you for your service. Okay, we will move into public comment on items that the board will be considering this evening. If you have a comment, please come forward.
Commissioner Hecker,
Yes.
before we begin public comment.
Yes, sir.
If I could address, under the consent agenda, item E, BOC 05, the motion to authorize the advertisement of ordinance number 229. This is the proposed museum.
Yes.
After speaking with the applicant's attorney, who is present this evening, Ms. Von Sprekelsen, they are asking that that item be pulled this evening. There's an issue that they want to discuss internally,
Okay.
and then discuss with us after they've had an opportunity to discuss it internally.
Okay, so we're gonna pull this from the agenda for the.
It doesn't need to be tabled. It's just a motion to authorize advertisement, but it will not be heard this evening.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So just to be clear for those here at home, item E that was on the consent agenda has been pulled from this evening's agenda and will be revisited at a later date. Please come forward. Go ahead.
Okay. I have watched commissioners over a period of 4 years push hate here. Absolutely, and I've talked about it again and again. And I have taken this to human relations and other abusive situations that have gone on here, and they either don't respond, but when I found them at one point at the library attending an event, they told me that they can't help me with the abusive situations created by commissioners here. And that's an issue we have. All of these groups here, committees, oversight groups, they answer to commissioners, and therefore the abuse that you push isn't addressed. And I also would like to say, in terms of the food trucks, it is wrong to inform citizens that food trucks will not go into their particular neighborhoods that are near them. These food trucks can go into any commercial area where there's a parking lot.
not a
These
neighborhood.
food trucks can go into empty parking lots in commercial areas that have people living around the corner or in back of them. We are picking up trash where I live all the time. I spent over a year trying to get that Davidson Target dumpster closed. Over a year. Code enforcement would not help. My commissioner would not help. It's just take it to code enforcement. I had to do it myself. It took me hours to get that one dumpster on Davidson that is near your home closed. Now, concerning the minutes, the phrase read into the record translates into important statements made by citizens have been censored from the minutes. This phrase is utilized to deliberately leave out information the commissioners find inconvenient or unflattering. 2 citizen statements last month were identified as read into the record. That meant they didn't go anywhere. The record is the minutes. In March, Mr. Hecker stated that I'm not going to get any questions answered here. That was truthful. For over 4 years, Mr. Hecker has refused to answer every question that everyone has asked. Mr. Vahey follows the same no questions answered policy. Last month, citizens asked why the former township manager is being paid over $200,000, I believe, for God knows what.
Not true.
Why? This is what somebody asked.
Yeah.
Why is there no record of what the EDC is doing? Why can't the township deliver on low-hanging fruit in their control? I asked how I can get the rat infestation and code violations of VIPs on the agenda. Nothing was answered. Refusing to provide documents, not providing basic information, refusing to have open conversations, all of this is low-hanging fruit that you refuse to deliver on. A citizen asked for information about Arnold Avenue and the traffic concerns. Mr. Hecker said information would be blasted out. Every question should be listed in the minutes. I've said this for years. Every answer should be recorded in the minutes. If not that month, the following month. This is low-hanging fruit the commissioners refuse to deliver on.
Please conclude your comments. Your time has expired.
WHYY and Glenside News are continually writing articles that are beneficial to commissioners and are not
Ms. Cabell,
news.
your time has expired.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, don't bother.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here that wishes to speak? And if not, we'll go to Zoom.
iPhone 416, you're unmuted.
Hi, I signed on tonight because of the proposed toll museum, but while I'm here, if I could just ask that.
Can you please identify yourself?
And whether you're a
sure.
resident?
Liz Kerr, I live not far from Meeting House. I'm on Forest Avenue. And the reason I'm here is because that was proposed. I know they pulled it from the agenda, but my question to you, commissioners, is it's kind of insulting. Can you not have the private citizen who is, we all know he's one of the wealthiest citizens of Abington Township, that he's allowed to have an agenda item that he wants to change the zoning for a private, that's a vanity project. It's not fair. I couldn't get on the agenda that I want my own vanity project of a museum in my backyard, when actually, if he wanted to be philanthropic, he lives on Meeting House Road. There's an art museum, the Abington Art Center is right down the road. He could donate it there. So obviously this isn't being done to give his artwork or show his artwork to the community. There's something else underfoot here, maybe tax breaks, I don't know. But to have a museum entrance on those roads like Susquehanna, where it meets Meeting, it would be costly. So anyway, I'm just asking, when a citizen is looking at, what's the agenda for Abington Township? What's going on? Oh, this man, Mr. Toll, wants a private museum. Can it not even be put on an agenda? That's all.
Thank you.
Laura Lehman, you're unmuted.
Laura Lehman. Can you take this out?
We had this problem last month.
I need that for the sound, and so we're taking it out of the room. Sorry. The same thing as last time. I'm using the phone for extra sound. For some reason, I can't hear well enough. The microphone is not loud enough. In this particular instance, the Toll Brother thing should never come anywhere without being required to show every property that will be affected. And it was stunning to see, that the solicitor actually answered Ms. Young Gertz's question about conditional versus use by right in a way that was completely misleading. In a use by right, he doesn't need the resident's opinion on anything. And the conditional use, there are conditions, and the residents also have a right to speak up for more things that will make a difference. And that answer that the solicitor gave was downright misleading. And that kind of thing is a shame. It also is a shame that we can't get an answer back. As you know, today, you removed the chart that showed that this toll museum had to go to the Comprehensive Plan Consistency Committee first. And you just removed it. Poof! We've decided we don't really have to abide by that, so we've removed it. But you didn't remove the resolution that created that committee, and that committee absolutely must be visited before you actually advertise it for a hearing. And that's clear. That certainly you can't have a hearing and then take it to that committee. So it is inappropriate. It was completely inappropriate. But the worst thing is that we can't get the manager to actually answer anything. That is disgraceful. Oddly enough, the resolution about that particular item that tells you what committee it must go to actually says how embracing the manager must be and inclusive of participation and openness. And it's just, you have to fall off your chair reading that stuff, because I cannot get an answer from this manager, and that's disgraceful. We need all people in place. Commissioner Hecker, you're my commissioner. You have the same problem. We need people that will answer us. You have 275 people at your beck and call. All you have to do is direct whichever one is correct to answer us. As regards to the 10 p.m., please don't have anything open to 10 p.m. ever in a residential neighborhood. But certainly should not be in a residential neighborhood. It doesn't fit in with the character of a residential neighborhood. And there are, as the earlier speaker said, a whole lot of other things going on here.
Okay. Ms. Lehman, thank you for your comments.
Michelle, you're unmuted.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Michelle DeBello. I live on Woodland Road in Rydell, and I'm calling in just to voice my opposition to changing the R1 code. I'm part of a neighbors group who formed here over in Rydell to go against a proposed nursing home that was and still is trying to be built at the end of our street. And that was from an amendment to the R1 code to include nursing homes. And we had no idea when we came together that that was even allowed. And we were thinking, there's no way they can put that here. And sure enough, in the past, you had amended the R1 to include nursing homes. So at this point in time, I know it's been pulled from the vote tonight, but at some point in the future, I'm sure you're going to have to vote on this G3 thing. That seems like a very odd amendment. And as the previous people that spoke before me, it seems to be tailored to the request of a single citizen. But a G3 amendment, I don't know how many parcels this would affect, but the adjacent neighbors won't know that this is happening until there's probably a conditional use for a museum to be built, and then they'll all be looking at each other like we were with the nursing home. I would say keep R1 residential. Any type of sharing of the artwork, like the previous person said, that can be done. There's plenty of places in Montgomery County where you could share your artwork. This could be used to host parties and fundraisers, and then with those types of things invites traffic, and that does affect neighborhoods and adjacent neighbors. So I just wanted to voice my opposition and also remind you that we are still dealing with an amendment to the R1 that happened, that caused us problems with the nursing home. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we will move on to the consent agenda. But before I turn it over to Vice President Matt Vahey, I do want to point out that item E has already been removed. And on item C, we have a request from Commissioner Weingrad to remove the portion of the agenda item dealing with Hemlock Circle so that he can address that with his residents before we take a vote on that, correct?
I agree, and I was talking to Officer Coughlin. There's actually 2 intersections with Hemlock and Canterbury, so we should probably
Take them both off. Okay.
Well, we're going to have to decide which one we're going to put it at.
Okay,
All right,
but
so
we're going to strip both of them from tonight's agenda.
We are
item.
going to strip that item, yes.
Okay. Is everybody clear about that? So when we vote on this, we're not voting on Canterbury and Hemlock. That'll come at a later time.
We don't need a motion on that?
To,
Amend the,
no, because you're authorizing it to advertise.
okay, good.
So just skip that one.
Unless Commissioner
I'm not reading it.
Vahey wanted to object to the removal of those streets.
Oh, that's right, you're not reading it. That's right. Commissioner Vahey reminded me it's a consent agenda, so he's not actually going to be reading the entirety of it.
I'm
so
devastated.
we're clear. Okay. With that, I will turn this over to Matt.
Thank you. All right, so I moved for passage of the consent agenda, and to be super clear, those are items A, B, C without Hemlock or Canterbury, D, and F. Nice move.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any opposed? The consent agenda carries. We have no unfinished business this evening, so we will move right into new business, and I will once again turn to Matt Vahey.
The first item is a presentation from Ms. McIlvain, update on crosswalks.
Yeah.
And before she begins, just want to recognize in the back of the room Mr. Harry May, who helped bring this petition forward, and I believe it is his birthday tonight, so happy birthday, Mr. May.
Okay, congratulations. I think that's not, yeah, there you go. You're
there we
good.
go. Okay.
Good evening, Ashley.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for having me tonight. What I'm going to speak to is what Vice President Vahey just mentioned. Last meeting, we had many residents come and eloquently talk to some of the needs in their community, and the Township Administration heard them and listened. We went, back to understand what we could do and what opportunities there would be to address some of those concerns. So tonight I'm going to talk to a 2025 ARLI application that the township is looking to submit. Our proposal is for 4 intersections. It'll be a safe routes to school and parks plus is what I'd like to say, because there are a lot of additional connections, which Mr. May spoke to, as well as others. So our Automated Red Light Enforcement Transportation Enhancement Grant Program, ARLI, is now open, and it's eligible to local governments like ourselves for safety and mobility projects. And so this project is going to fall under the vulnerable road user improvements section of that, which is pedestrian enhancements such as crosswalks, rapid flashing beacons, ADA accessibility. So the timeline for this submission is a pre-scoping form was due on April 28th. We were able to get in a pre-scoping form, and PennDOT reviews that. They provide feedback, and essentially they say, yes, we think this would be a good application, or hey, we think you should consider some modifications or tweaks. And so we'll expect that feedback towards the end of this month to gear up to an application that is due on June 30th. This grant is unique and special in that there is no minimum or maximum grant award, and there's also no match requirement. So it is advantageous, but because of that, it's also very competitive. So we're looking to do pedestrian enhancements. This is an example of such a crosswalk that was discussed at Township Line and Home Avenue. You see here the rapid flashing beacons, the crosswalk, the ADA accessibility. So this one is often referenced, but that's the type of facility that we're talking to. The proposed improvements would be a rectangular rapid flashing beacon with pedestrian push buttons. That's an important piece in that it's pushed to be activated. It's not something that's going to be going off continuously, which is going to help drivers kind of be prompted to acknowledge that. Sometimes we hear feedback that, these things kind of, people get used to them, they stop seeing them, so that's important. High visibility crosswalks, signage, as well as any sidewalk curbing and ADA improvements that are needed. The 4 proposed intersections are Easton Road and Fairhill Avenue, Edge Hill Road and Keith Road, Jenkintown Road and Evergreen Road, and Easton Road and Parkdale Avenue. These intersections were identified, by the community, by many of yourselves. We keep an ongoing list of intersections that are requested, and we worked with the police department and Public Works and Construction Services to prioritize these and identify these based off of safety and need, proximity to facilities, and also a competitiveness of a grant, as well as some of the funding opportunity. We want this to be a fundable project, that they see the benefit to these enhancements and that they're going to be well used. So I'm calling this Safe Routes to School Plus. These graphics aren't great, but they're for context in that you can see that the proximity to facilities. So Easton Road and Fairhill Avenue, as was spoken to last month, this is a busy intersection because of its proximity to many religious institutions, schools, apartments, and here you can also see its proximity to the Glenside train station. So it's an active thoroughway. This is a great application because of the vulnerable road users. We have seniors and youth. Those, individuals who may have a hard time crossing the street or getting the attention of a vehicle, might be slower. So we really think that's a competitive application. As well as Edge Hill Road and Keith Road, we can see the proximity to Overlook Elementary, as well as Briarbush Nature Center. What we're proposing here is pedestrian activated flashing beacons, as well as high visibility crosswalks. Right now, those don't exist. There are crosswalks, but they're not the high visibility crosswalks. And in the case of Edge Hill Road and Keith Road, there's 3 crosswalks to date, but we would be adding that 4th, making that complete connection, as well as updating the ADA accessibility. This is also a nice application given its proximity to the school, as well as Old York Road. It kind of, again, provides a gateway down to the business community. Safe routes to parks and more. The Easton Road and Parkdale Avenue was mentioned last month as well, and you can see here its proximity to Keswick Avenue, as well as Glenside Weldon Fields. There is an existing crosswalk there. It's just a line stripe. It's not that high visibility again. So we're already introducing people to these intersections. So we're looking to update them to make them safer for those who are crossing. We think this would be competitive, again, because of its proximity to the parks, as well as the business community. And the fact that there are existing crosswalks there, that coordination with the county has happened, and we have made them aware of our intent to apply on both of these intersections on Easton Road. The next intersection is Jenkintown Road and Evergreen Road. This is by Alvathorpe Manor, and so we've gotten requests at this intersection. Jenkintown Road is a busy road. It's 35 miles per hour, and it's difficult to cross. So this would provide an opportunity for residents looking to get to the trail at Alvathorpe Park. There is not an existing crosswalk today, so this would be the addition of a crosswalk, that pedestrian flasher, and it would be the tie into the trail right there, which provides a nice connection further down because we've continued to build up trails in that area. And again, pedestrian activated beacon crosswalk signage. So the proposed cost for these 4 projects is $635,834. We would be requesting for the engineering and equipment and related underground construction. We've discussed this matter with Public Works and Construction Services, and they're confident that they can do the above ground installation, which would provide us an opportunity to give an in-kind match, which would make our grant application more competitive. That's clearly outlined in the ARLI application, and that's something that we are extremely lucky to be able to do through Public Works and Construction Services. Also, our relationships with PennDOT and the county, we're very well familiar with what that's going to entail. So our next steps is a submission of an ARLI grant by June 30th. We're waiting again for that feedback on that pre-scoping form. It's pretty significant. Some of this might not to come to fruition based off of that, but we're looking forward to that feedback. And then overarching, I know there's been a lot of conversations. We've been talking a lot about it in the office, the manager and I, and PD and others, regarding the overall traffic safety policy. So that policy, which is being developed now, will look to encompass a formal procedure for how we collect and prioritize these intersections in the future. And then that will help us be able to look for grant funding or help those capital requests so that you all have an opportunity to have these improvements continue on to the future.
Thank you,
that's
Ashley. Does anyone have questions for Ashley? Commissioner Spiegelman.
Thank you, President Hecker. I know it was mentioned earlier that it's Mr. May's birthday, and happy birthday. I feel like I'm getting an early birthday present. This is, all of these are absolutely worthy. I think I can speak for Commissioner Schreiber when I say that Edge Hill and Keith, which is actually Keith being one of the border streets of Highland Elementary, and of course, right across the street is, close to across the street is Briarbush, and then my house is nearby, but that's neither hither nor thither. Commissioner Schreiber and I have been fielding.
We'll need that by eminent domain to make this work.
Go for
Okay.
it. Just as long as you mow my lawn, the whole thing's yours. Commissioner Schreiber and I have been fielding concerns from residents for a long time, from both of the wards we represent, basically all the folks who live opposite my house on the Briarbush side for years. So this is absolutely fantastic. I did actually have one question, but I had to share my excitement because this is an ARLI grant. The competition for these grant dollars, those are only municipalities that are approved to have and have the active red light camera program. Is that correct? Or can anyone apply for that?
I believe it's open to anyone, but that I was actually trying to find that in the application earlier today because I was anticipating that being asked. Previously, we used to get additional points if you're an ARLI community. I've been trying to confirm that. I did see that if you have the match, you're awarded additional, but I was not able to confirm that, and I was looking for it. So I will get back to you. But in previous applications, it was the case that you were looked on more favorably.
I want those points. Ms. McIlvaine, thank you so much.
Any other comments or questions? Commissioner Schreiber.
Just to kind of follow up on that for the competitiveness, is there any way they would cut it down, like say, well, we'll do 2 of them, or?
So we originally had 6, that we felt strongly about, and we met with TBD, our traffic engineer, to talk through what this would look like, and they have some staff members who are very, very familiar with this process. They felt strongly that these 4 would be competitive. They saw that connection, and although that cost estimate seems high, which is what we were kind of nervous about, we want to be in that fine space, they thought that was a good cost estimate, would make for a good application. So, of course, they could come back and say, hey, we think, let's pull this back, but everyone we've spoken to so far has indicated that this is competitive and within a range that
And we don't know
they'll
how
find.
many others might apply or any of that. That's other communities. We wouldn't have any idea what our competition is, would we?
No, I'm not. But I will say, I think it's about 27 million that's available, and that's just for the state of Pennsylvania. So hopefully, but we are really, we do feel confident in it.
All 4.
Any other comments or questions for Ashley? Okay, thank you for the good work. We appreciate it. Back to you, Vice President Behe.
Okay. All right, next item of new business is BOC-08050825. Motion to approve an agreement with Civic Plus to develop and maintain a new township website and provide agenda management services in the amount of $64,000, and to authorize the township manager to execute the agreement. And I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there comments or questions from members of the board? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries.
Next item of new business is BOC-09050825, motion to approve the cooperation agreement among Abington Township, the Redevelopment Authority of the County of Montgomery, Holy Redeemer Health System, and authorize the township manager to execute the agreements. And I so move.
Can we get a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions from members of the board? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? The motion carries.
Next item is BOC-10-050825, motion to reject the 2025 storm sewer inlets and manhole structures bid as opened on May 5th, 2025, and authorize rebidding of the project. And I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comments or questions from members of the board? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries.
And that concludes new business tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Vice President Vehy. We'll now turn to the Finance Committee and Finance Committee Chair, Commissioner Stuart Weingrab.
Thank you, President Hecker. First item up is FC01050825, motion to approve the March 2025 expenditures in the amount of $3,828,010.26, and salaries and wages in the amount of $2,476,708.68, and authorizing the proper officials to sign and approve invoices and supporting documentation and payment of bills and contracts as they mature through the month of June 2025, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioners Brodsky, Rothman. Yes. DePlacido,
Yes.
Laney Martin,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Weingrab,
Sorry.
You can only vote once, Stuart.
The mic turned off.
Henry,
Yes.
Zepone. Yes. Young Earth,
Yes.
Spiegelman,
Yes.
Ball, Schreiber,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Vice President Vehy,
Yes.
President Hecker.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Next item up, FC02050825, motion to adopt resolution number 25-017, authorizing the township manager and/or finance director to enter into an agreement with the Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust, Pliglet, and its banking partner at BMO Harris Bank to participate in the Payment Solutions P-Card program. And I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions from members
You
of the
know,
board?
if I could ask, maybe, is Ms. Herman on the line? She can just tell us briefly what this is about?
Sure. Is Jeanette there?
Sure, I am.
Hi, Jeanette. Good evening.
Good evening. The Pliget program with the P card is offering the township an opportunity to engage in a credit card type program. This program does not come with any fees, does come with greater internal controls for the township and for the finance office in particular. It involves an electronic system where employees will be able to log their purchases, and it will replace the current few credit cards that we have. In addition to that it has no fees, it also offers a cashback reward at the year end, which is always a bonus.
Thank you. I just wanted the public to know that there are some additional internal controls that the township is undergoing, which I think is an excellent idea. So I'm supportive of it.
Excellent. Any further comments or questions?
Just very quickly, when we were presented this at Finance Committee, it's a very impressive program. Like,
Yes.
It's super fine-tuned. It's incredible. Flexibility, protections, it's got it all. 2 thumbs up.
Thank you. Any last comments or questions? I'm supportive, even though I can't stand this acronym. Yep. But we can't hold that against them. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, Pliget passes.
And that concludes the Finance Committee agenda items for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Weingrad. And with that, we will open it up for public comment on general matters of township business. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
Yes, I would like to again, well, first of all, my name's Adele Cubell, and again, I'd like to ask the Human Relations Committee to step up. And
Well, they're not going to
speak
do
with
that. You
me.
should address your comments to me.
Okay.
This is not an
I
open
got it,
forum.
don't talk through my minutes.
I'll do what I need to maintain order.
Excuse me,
Continue.
I want those minutes back. Seconds are important to me. The yearly escalation of car crashes in Old York and the Fairway is a crisis the commissioners have ignored. The 2024 crash numbers in Old York Road and the Fairway totaled 444. That should go in the minutes. That's important information, 444 crashes on Old York and the Fairway. This less than 3.5 miles of road has staggering yearly jumps in collisions. I've talked about this for 4 years. The rapid escalation of collisions that are brushed aside demonstrates that commissioners are not proactive or responsive. For 4 years, I've brought the consistent escalation of collisions to your attention. I've taken the crash escalation numbers to Ben Sanchez himself. Ben Sanchez said that it's not his job to address crashes that are in front of his office. Visitors and employees continually wait for buses in the vicinity of Abington Hospital. Mr. Hecker, have you asked Abington Hospital to assist with funding bollards? The hospital owns parking lots, doctors' offices that continue for blocks. Bollards are an investment in protecting people's lives. Stop assisting one-percenters. Protect the lives of pedestrians. Old York has 6 unprotected, faded, painted crosswalks. Old York has 4 lanes of fast-moving traffic. Citizens have been maimed and killed on Old York numerous times. If commissioners are unwilling to spend tax money on light-up safety signage, remove the crosswalks. People will be killed. I saw a lady with a walker crossing on a crosswalk, 4 lanes of fast-moving traffic. 1582 Edge Hill Apartments has yards of missing curbside. I've talked about this for almost 5 years. This is pictures old. This is all gone. Everything is missing. Bam Bam Restaurant was hit by a motorist who went into the restaurant, jumped the curb and everything. We don't have curbs in a lot of places. I don't understand it. Business owners need to pay for this. The Old York Dunkin' Donuts has a light pole that was hit over 2 years ago. The light pole's not back ordered. It's never been ordered. That's how we do business. Okay. Roman Delight is a fantastic local restaurant that deserves support. Economic development, my goodness. The light pole was hit. It's not going to be replaced unless I talk about it a whole bunch of times. The light pole at Roman Delight needs to be replaced. The driver was drunk, I believe, and ran into the light pole. We need bollards. Old York advertises Abington is dysfunctional. The peeling, unreadable paint that says Abington is a wonderful place to live, those signs need to go. I wrote Mr. Manfredi a whole letter about
Yeah, he's
this.
not here, and thank you.
Yeah,
Your
and he
comments have,
ignored it.
your time has,
Excuse me, you're interrupting.
your time has expired. You're over by 30 seconds, and I gave you additional time, so thank you for your comments, and please take your seat.
Don't say that to me. You don't thank me. You've already told me
Okay,
what you
then
think
take
of
your
me.
seat.
I would love to hear from Human Relations.
Yeah, well, you can email them at the address that was in the presentation. Please take your seat. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak in the room? If so, please come forward.
I'm Harry May, and thank everyone for...
Yeah, happy
I don't know
birthday.
how you found out about it.
Yeah, I don't know either, but happy
thank
birthday,
you,
sir.
Thank you. Did I, Matt? I didn't... did I tell you that?
You said you didn't think you'd be able to make it because of your birthday.
Okay. But I would like to thank Township Manager Chrisman, Commissioner Matt Vahey, and Ms. McIlvain for their efforts in doing this project, which, as you can tell, we feel is very important, and we do hope that everything will go through, and I'm very happy with the effort that is happening here. And one other thing with the no parking here to corner, I'm just going to add something. And ironically, my wife and I were coming over this evening we live on Fairhill Avenue near Roberts Avenue. And of course, there's a show at the theater tonight, and it's sold out. And the traffic gets there, is very difficult. But there's no parking here to corner sign on Sylvania Avenue on the north side or the south side. And sometimes that can be an issue when you're at the stop sign there to make the turn onto Keswick Avenue. So I just wanted to mention that as well. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and we've made note of that. Anyone else in the room wish to speak? And if not, we'll turn to Zoom.
Ross Abel, you're unmuted.
Hi all, Ross Abel on Washington Lane with Jenkintown Abington Neighbors in Pike, Montgomery County. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Ross, we can. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. First of all, thanks to Ashley on the Arlie application. I'm super excited to hear that we're going for this. One question I had was specifically that Jenkintown Road crossing. We've had that access point cut off to Alberthorpe, which the Parks and Open Space Plan was advocating for giving residents trail access through that side of the park. But I believe it's been cut off for a while now. And so I wanted to make sure that you all have the intention to actually give residents access to the park via that direction.
I'm not aware of that, but that's something we will definitely look into, Ross. Agree with your concern. I don't have an answer for that right now, though.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, because there's a gate there. And
yeah, I'm aware of the gate. Yes.
Yeah, when I first moved here, I was like, oh, this is great. I can go right in the park. But ever since, I've had to go all the way around because it's been cut off. Anyway, separately, I wanted to check specifically. I know one of the things that I've advocated for is us to have an actual traffic calming commission so that we can have an ongoing group of folks between township staff, our police department, and residents, so that we all could continually advocate for traffic calming in areas that make sense, and could potentially, recommend items like what the Arlie application was focused on. So has there been consideration or any discussion within the township about such a thing?
Yes, we'll have more to say on that shortly. We're talking with the manager and the police department on the best approach to ensure that we're as comprehensive as we can be in this review.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. And then last thing I wanted to note, because this is another thing I've advocated, is an active transportation, some sort of strategic approach for this, for active transportation, which would be trails, sidewalks, could be things like crosswalks, ADA access, basically anyone who's traveling by foot, bike, wheelchair, that they have ways to get around the town. So last night, Cheltenham actually voted through their public works, their new active transportation committee. Jeff Chirico, the commissioner there, is heading up that effort, and it looks to be headed to approval. And not that we necessarily need a commission, but just some ongoing strategy to think about this, because a lot of our plans include bits of recommendations along these lines, but we don't have an ongoing complete strategy in regards to active transportation. So I would love to see us take some sort of strategic approach. Yes. But I appreciate all your efforts. Let's make Abington safer. Thank you so much.
Yes. Well, thank you for your comments and for your advocacy.
Laura Lehman.
Laura Lehman. And here I go again.
You
have to get it out of the way. Hold on. Let's hope that works. Okay. So 1368 Valley Road, just one big hot mess. Mr. Platts seems to be acting as the zoning hearing board and telling them what they can and can't do. There is such a thing as phased construction and deferred submittal, but they had not submitted any permit for that we can see. Mr. Platts just said you can go ahead and do it. And the driveway is completely unclear whether he's saying deferred submittal or not. It seems that he's saying they don't need one. They moved it a little to the left, a little further away from the floodway, in the floodplain. Okay, and it's a little smaller, he says, but there's no particular figures or anything for that. He doesn't make that decision. That's a zoning hearing board decision. So somebody needs to respond to us to tell us how we are going to fix this hot mess. Okay, we have the museum proposal, wasn't even supposed to be on the agenda tonight because it cannot go advertised for a hearing until it goes to the Comprehensive Plan Consistency Committee. And so this whole charade of not following the laws, but then when somebody asks those questions, ignoring them, is just unconscionable. It is allowing absolute corruption in our township. I'm going to read you the thing that I talked about that's at the top of the resolution that means that the museum can't go to be advertised for a hearing. At the very top, it says, the Township of Abington's Office of the Township Manager is responsible in part for assuring the laws, policies of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Township Board of Commissioners are executed as prescribed. They're not being that. Compliance with the open meeting requirements and increasing public communications and public participation are keystones for how the township conducts business and demonstrates to citizens that these responsibilities are being met in their best interest. Not so. Mr. Hecker, you took all our speaking rights away at the work. Citizen education and engagement requires truthfulness, openness, and participation. The township is continuing to involve and improve the public policy process. Oh my gosh.
All right, Ms. Lehman, your time has expired. I'll let you conclude.
When residents call in and tell you that these problems are happening, that they are met with closed doors, that is absolutely unbelievable. So we need to fix that. I know you paid somebody to write all the flowery stuff, but it's not true.
Okay, Ms. Lehman, thank you for your comments. Okay, with that, we are adjourned. We will take a 2-minute break, and we will reconvene in 2 minutes to start the working session. So plan accordingly.